Star Wars continues to trudge along every once in a while where its dilapidated, destroyed, and bloated corpse gets drug out for a couple of intermittent headlines every now and again. And well, now they're going to have to start talking about their upcoming projects very far in the future upcoming because, yeah, Ahsoka Season 2 probably not coming out in the next 6 months or something like that, especially because, well, we've got rumors, we've got leaks, we got set photos, and the way that Lucasfilm produces any TV show, we know that even if they've wrapped principal photography, they're going to be going back for reshoots, and it's just going to be stuck in editing hell for quite a while. But hey guys, are you looking forward to Mandalorian and Grogu, another Pedro Pascal movie? That's going to be great. I can't wait for that to make 300 and change. I wonder if it's going to make more or less than Solo, but that's another conversation to have at a later date. But yes, the next Disney show, the next Dave Filoni project, oh my god, Ahsoka Season 2. Well, we've heard a lot about a bunch of key jangles that are going to be out there, and one of the heavy keys to be jangled was apparently Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi. But apparently, okay, Ewan McGregor will not be returning for Ahsoka Season 2, despite the rumors. I don't believe you. I really don't believe you, because the rumors from, what was that, last month or within the past couple of months that were circulating about renewed interest, and perhaps behind the scenes Lucasfilm has Season 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi in development, and we were kind of thinking, okay, because there was somewhat of a cliffhanger at the tail end of Kenobi Season 1. I dare anybody to remember it as kind of a sicko who goes back on a somewhat consistent basis to watch a lot of the coverage that was done of these Star Wars projects at the time. Like, I can remember with crystal clear recollection, like how they capped off the first season of Kenobi and what it stands as the only season of Kenobi with one of the most obvious and most blatant member berries in history. Hey guys, look, it's Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn. He came back and he said, hey Obi-Wan, I've been waiting here the entire time. You just weren't ready to see me. All right, let's go. That's all he did. The return of Obi-Wan Kenobi the return of Qui-Gon Jinn for the first time since 1999, and that's all you could do. Have him say 2 fucking lines and all culminate, and all right, let's go. So that's going to be the lead-in for Season 2. There's a reason that Season 2 wasn't immediately greenlit. But yeah, thinking about with those new rumors that percolated, not the Ahsoka 2 rumors, but the Obi-Wan Season 2 rumors, was, okay, cool, so it's going to be more of a continuation. Maybe it was going to be something to do with, oh, I don't know, Luke fucking Skywalker, considering you're on Tatooine, and maybe you're going to be studying, and maybe you're going to be getting to the bottom and working out all of that guilt that you had with Anakin falling to the dark side. Maybe you could have done that. Maybe you could have tried to find some of the gold that is in a whole season of shit that was that first season. Maybe you could do some repair work. Maybe you could do some interesting character studies, especially if it's just going to be a much lower stakes show. But now, with other rumors that are out there as well, I'm kind of thinking that we might get an announcement. That, yeah, okay, Ewan McGregor's not going to be in Ahsoka Season 2. They might not be so bold as to just obviously say that, because the only reason that anybody would be checking out the second season of that fucking Borefest would just simply be, oh, look at all of the things that you remember. So yeah, they might continue to tease them and kick that can down the road a little bit longer. But we could get confirmation for Obi-Wan Season 2, but it could be taking a look at a different epoch. They could be doing a prequel for the prequel for the prequel. But let's see who has disputed these rumors, the Ahsoka Season 2 rumors, after all. Recently, a wave of speculation swept across the fan communities after reports surfaced claiming that Ewan McGregor would reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi for the upcoming second season of Disney Plus's Ahsoka. Rumor originated when McGregor's appearance at Fan Expo Boston, where he allegedly confirmed his involvement during the Q&A panel. So yeah, that's coming from the actor himself. However, as more details emerge, it appears this may have been a case of misheard words and over-eager reporting, leading to swift clarifications from multiple sources. The story broke on Nexus Point News, a site that published an article detailing McGregor's supposed confirmation as Obi-Wan in Season 2. According to the report, while discussing the series with his wife, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who played Hera, McGregor stated, I began filming on that Season 2 of Ahsoka soon. They reportedly paused, adding, was I supposed to say that? Was that something you knew? Yeah, misheard that, obviously. This quote ignited widespread enthusiasm. Not really. because it's like, fuck, you already did so much damage to him in the Obi-Wan show. But there's at least a couple of repairs that can be done before the OT timeline really kicks in. So yeah, the further that we go on that, wait, can we not? Yeah, it seemed to mark the first official word from the actor about himself returning to the iconic Jedi Master role. He took over from the late Alec Guinness in The Phantom Menace and revisited in the 2022 miniseries Obi-Wan Kenobi. Fans were quick to theorize how Obi-Wan could fit into the narrative of Ahsoka, the World Between Worlds flashback episodes, but now, well, keep that in mind for a second. Set after Return of the Jedi, long after Kenobi had perished in A New Hope. Exactly, or maybe you could be a Force ghost that'll go ahead and teach Ahsoka how to properly fold her arms. Yay, because both of those characters have that in common. Remember when Obi-Wan crossed his arms? I remember, I clapped a lot. Possibilities included flashback to the Clone Wars era, where Ahsoka Tano, played by Rosario Dawson, or a plank of wood, whatever rolls off the tongue better for you, served as Anakin Skywalker's Padawan, or ethereal apprentice, yes, in the mystical World Between Worlds, a dimension introduced in Star Wars Rebels, which is so fucking dumb and cringe, that featured in Ahsoka Season 1. Yeah, exactly. It's not time travel. It's like actually everything. That's according to Dave Filoni. Hayden Christensen, who reprised Anakin and Vader in the series He Vadered, had previously appeared in a similar sequence, fueling dreams of a live-action reunion between Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka. Yeah, because it's Dave Filoni, so of course he'd want to take advantage of, just the quintessential Sith and the quintessential Jedi meeting once again properly in live action, and then staple on his fucking OC, because of course he would. It's Dave Filoni after all. Social media erupted with the news, with posts on platforms like Instagram and Facebook amplifying the excitement. Well, let's get to the debunking. Okay. Nexus Point News itself added an update to the article. They have been conflicting reports about what Ewan McGregor actually said regarding Season 2 of Ahsoka. While we stand by our reporting, we acknowledge that what we reported may have been misheard. We will continue to provide updates as more information becomes available. The disclaimer hinted at potential inaccuracies, prompting fans and outlets to dig deeper. Reliable sources soon debunked the claim. Collider published a piece clarifying that McGregor did not confirm his own involvement. Instead, he was referring to his wife's filming schedule for the series. Okay. The actual quote from the Fan Expo by McGregor said, "Well, I like watching my wife." Pause. What the fuck? Okay. Who knows? So I really enjoyed Ahsoka. I thought it was brilliantly done. Oh, Christ almighty. I hope you're lying. So it's funny. She's shooting the second season now, and I know, is that a secret? A Reddit thread, okay, Star Wars Leaks mirrored this, highlighting the conflicting reports and the outlets backpedaling. A discussing film and prominent entertainment account on X stated outright Ewan McGregor is not confirmed to be returning in Ahsoka Season 2. The outlet that first reported the news inaccurately quoted him. Okay, cool. But I still think, and especially with as much engagement as that even misquote generated, you would have to think, because this isn't Tony Gilroy, okay? This isn't Tony Gilroy Star Wars we're talking about here. There's no characters that could be built up. There's nobody going on a meaningful arc in any of these Filoni projects. All he can do is make references to the works of past great men. So yeah, I would imagine that enthusiasm like that would definitely elicit calls to bring in Obi-Wan for Season 2, especially if they're still filming. Christ almighty, what's the filming schedule on this motherfucker at this point in time? It's been huge, because he had Celebration at the beginning of April, and then we got some soft set pictures that came out about a month later from Rosario Dawson in her stupid Ahsoka robes, wearing, grandma sneakers. So it's like, okay, cool, so they're filming, but it's like, this is not going to be any more than 8 45-minute long episodes. How long is this shit gonna take? And given that, Anakin, Hayden Christensen, he's going to be back as Anakin. He is 100% confirmed to be in the second season. They would be insane, because that right there, it's legitimate free virality on social media. Maybe it's money. I don't really know. And especially with the way that these Star Wars projects drive interaction from the actual paying customers, I don't really know for sure. But yeah, it's a viral moment that they could just simply go out there and do, because that's all that they pursue at this point in time. So yeah, Hayden Christensen eager to play a beloved Anakin Skywalker after Ahsoka Season 2. I'd be there in a heartbeat. So this is leading to a lot of other speculation as well, that Hayden Christensen wants Darth Vader series and a new Star Wars project. Okay, cool. Yeah, and a Vader series, when they announced that they're doing an Obi-Wan series, it's like, yeah, that's a very obvious direction to go, but then there's also another iconic character that could get flushed out by the filthy hands over at Disney. So yeah, a Vader series makes a lot of sense, but so does this other one that he wants to take part in. The past weekend's Fan Expo Boston. Wow, that show gets a lot of scoops. doesn't it? Hayden Christensen said he would 100% return as Anakin or Darth Vader in future Star Wars projects after Ahsoka Season 2. I would love to, yes, Christensen said. If the powers that be decide that's something that they want to see, of course it is, man. He's going to be the face of Star Wars moving forward, because as much as Filoni wants Ahsoka to be there, I mean, for as long as Hayden's around and he wants to do it, it's like, that's just easy money right there. For as much as Disney Star Wars wanted to pivot away from the prequels, how they are pilfering and plundering that ripe, fertile soil, it's funny the about face that they've made in the past 5 years. But yes, I would be there in a heartbeat. Of course, because, well, it's not like anybody else is really knocking down the doors to capture your immense talent, but yeah, kind of like Sam Worthington in Avatar. Like, there's nobody else that could play the role of that totally replaceable main character in those movies. But yeah, he keeps getting the call back, and he keeps on making a lot of money by being attached to that project. But Hayden Christensen is Anakin Skywalker, and as 2025, what was that? I think it was 2025 that deprived us of James Earl Jones and David Prowse. Both of them are resting in peace. He is the only live action connection still Star Wars' most iconic character. So of course he's going to be back. Christensen shared one of the timelines he would like to revisit is the Clone Wars era. I think that there are some fun stories to tell, he said, and if it meant that I got to swing a lightsaber with Ewan McGregor again, that would be amazing. And this is where I'm thinking that if there's going to be an Obi-Wan Season 2, follow me with this one. I'm going to do a theory, a Star Wars theory here for a second. If there's going to be a second season, a second mini-series for Obi-Wan Kenobi, why wouldn't you go back to the time of the Clone Wars? Even when the prequels were releasing, okay, everybody thought that, wow, a lot of missed opportunity, a big period of time right there, the whole Clone Wars that you just basically gloss over. And I know that stupid cringe Dave Filoni animated series is out there if you want to see that, but having the way that the industry perceives that live action is the only legitimate means to tell a story, like running it back with a proper Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor Clone Wars era series, that would be big business. That would be huge business. But is there money out there? And what's the landscape after the big Mando wrap-up movies? Because yeah, you got the first part of that with Mandalorian and Grogu, and then you got Dave Filoni's movie, you got season 2 of Ahsoka. So yeah, setting up an Obi-Wan and Anakin Clone Wars story to build some of those intermediate stories, because now there's apparently a rough timeline and rough outline for what they want to accomplish in the post Episode 9 landscape for Star Wars. So if they want to have their feet in two different pools, this would be the way to go about it. I'm not saying that's good. I'm saying that it's quite interesting. It's something that is a no-brainer, a slam dunk idea. Hayden wants to do it. Ewan is always banging on the drum about wanting to play Obi-Wan again and again. It must simply be a financial thing, or it just must simply be a Dave Filoni wondering how many of his stupid cartoon characters he can cram into this. Because, hey, over at Star Wars, we're not about creating anything new and original, because whenever you have actual creatives out there, okay, remember Stephen Knight. Stephen Knight, who was, as you recall right here at one point in time, the stint writing Daisy Ridley's upcoming Star Wars movie before exiting, well, he's deciding to take his talents after he sets up a studio, writes the Peaky Blinders movie. He's going to be writing the next James Bond movie. You are lucky that you have franchise icons willing to continue on with such a dilapidated corpse of a franchise, and if you would be stupid not to take advantage of this. So yeah, because there is such an obvious direction to take this franchise. You know Disney Star Wars, you've seen what they've done. They're obviously not going to do it. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.